in Renee Montoya's room on the TV, there was like a Harley Quinn. And
you did spot that.
And is it because Arlene Sorkin, who inspired the original Harley Quinn character, and then she ended up voicing Harley Quinn first, and I was wondering if that's what that was.
Yeah, and you know what? I didn't even suggest putting that in there, and I don't know who actually did suggest it. It wasn't until one of the final cuts of the film that I saw that in there, and I was like, oh who did that?
Cool.
I never even asked Cathy about it. I don't
That's
know if
cool.
it was whose idea it was. But yeah, no, there's always lots of little things like that, kind of Easter eggs for the people watching.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we go there with the Harley Quinn character, I think. You know, there's another moment in the movie when she kind of talks about what a Harlequin means. And so I think we kind of try to pay tribute whenever we could. And there are these little Easter eggs all over the movie in terms of that. And like, if you're going to put something on screen, I think it has to feel deliberate and of, you know, of the world and of the vision of the movie. And we try to be good about that, yeah.
With you being the only kind of super-powered character in this, what was that like to kind of get to do the canary cry and be this meta-human presence? You had to balance that with her humanity in this group.
Yeah, because, you know, Canary, the whole movie, she's walking around with a secret. And it's an interesting thing as a character, as an actor, to play that. I oftentimes try to find the secret in my character. What is it that she's holding back? What is she not sharing? And so to play that reluctance, that real inner struggle, was awesome as an actor, you know.
Now that I've seen the movie, this is such a terrifying character. What was it like kind of getting into that mindset?
It was awesome. It was, you know, it was the best run set I've ever been on. It was so smooth, and, you know, this woman's incredible. To watch her jump in and out of being a producer and then jumping into Harley, and she did it so gracefully. And it was very inspiring. You know, the comics were helpful. The script was amazing, kind of gave me a lot. And Cathy, our director, you know, she let me try a bunch of different versions of Victor Zsasz. It was fun. We were saying it felt like an independent movie. You know, I'd never done a big movie DC thing before. So I was under the impression that DC and Warner Brothers would be all over us, dictating who Victor Zsasz was. And it wasn't like that at all.
And Mary, you get to kind of play this, who is arguably kind of the most brutal character and has this terrible, traumatic story, but you play it with such good comedy.
Well, that was something that Cathy really wanted from the beginning, and when we met, she was sort of like, just think that she could be kind of funny because she's grown up in this way where she was very isolated. She had one thing that mattered to her, and that's getting revenge for what happened to her and her family. And she has no idea what it's like to be out in the world or to be socialized or to interact with people. And in the beginning, she's not really interested in it. So when she meets Harley and she meets, you know, everybody else, she's sort of like, who are these people and why should they matter to me? So she sort of stands a little bit outside of the rest of it. She doesn't really care initially about whatever they're going through or whatever's happening. And in fact, she's kind of getting a kick out of all the murdering that's that's going on.
Renee is actually the first gay superhero who's been in a DC or Marvel movie. So Birds of Prey comes across as groundbreaking. So what was that like for you?
It was fine. You know, when I met with the executives at DC, they asked me if I had a problem with it, and I said no. Do I have a problem with playing a human being? No. I remember when I was younger, and I shared this with the executives, where, you know, I went through a phase of questioning my own sexuality and going through that whole thing. And I said, so, you know, I could bring that, you know, to the character as well, you know, and then being outed. You know, she's not ready to share that with the world, and then she has no choice to, you know, and that's mean. I think that everybody should come out when they're ready to come out. But unfortunately for Renee, you know, the men are so threatened by her that they had to throw that jab at her.
Yeah, Rosie, I was going to ask, with your character, with Renee, in the comics, she becomes this really famous character called The Question. Would you be interested in kind of going full superhero after this?
Oh, 100%. That would be fantastic, you know, if the universe aligns and that opportunity presents itself again, 100%.
Look, I have a million ideas and stories in my head. I don't know what we're going to be allowed to do, but I'm definitely going to always keep pushing.